Here's a common question people ask. What is it like to go under hypnosis? Maybe you've listened to one or two of the files on this channel and are like, well, how do I know I'm in this trance you keep talking about? It sounds completely made up. So I like to explain it. The truth is, to go into trance isn't as mysterious as it sounds. And there isn't any one feeling of trance to reach for either. Everyone's experience is unique. I think of the word trance as an invitation for the subconscious to come forward. After all, the mind might associate the word trance with total immersion or concentration, but trance is also associated with lowered brain waves, and that creates a space for the subconscious to come through. During hypnosis, you're aiming for alpha or theta brainwave states, and you experience those all the time. If you've ever been lost in thought, or if you know what it feels like when you're just about to fall asleep, then you know what it's like to move between different states. It's completely natural. But despite how ordinary it is, there are many different ways hypnotists like to use the word trance. There are some who don't use it at all. I personally like to use it because it can be a helpful bridge, especially in this format. To take the mystery out of it, I tend to compare the act of going into trance now to cooking. It can be as complicated or as simple as you like. It all depends on what dish you want to make. But since we're really trying to get the sense of what trance is like for you, let's take it up a notch. Nothing showcases the cooking process in an immersive, engaging way like one of those cooking show competitions. So we're going to create that experience together. The challenge for you is to imagine what it would be like for you to experience each flavor of trance that I described. See how many you can notice. You might feel some of them more than others, but no matter what happens, be curious about what kind of hypnosis experience you can cook up for yourself. Take note of how you feel once you've listened to this all the way through. Whether you know how to cook or not, whether you love cooking or hate it, it doesn't matter. You can still cook up a hypnotic experience for yourself. Cooking is an art too, so listen to this however you like. You can even try to resist going into trance if that intrigues you. The only rule is that you must follow every single instruction, like following a recipe. Even with this rule in place though, as always, and at any time, you can ignore any suggestion that you do not want to experience. But if you feel safe and comfortable to follow along, then let's get the show started. On this particular cooking show, there are 3 levels. At each level, you will have access to more flavors, more interesting ingredients to add to your hypnotic experience. Remember, you're helping to create this. This cooking show can be as fast as Hell's Kitchen or as soothing as the Great British Baking Show. It's up to you. And as the show begins, you know that there is a recipe to follow. You might already have it in your head, so you know what to do. Or maybe it feels better to pay close attention to every detail. But since you set out to follow each instruction, I'd like for you to find a spot in front of you to stare at. Find a spot where you can rest your gaze, preferably just above eye level. Keep blinking, and imagine that the more you focus and keep your eyes on that spot, the more you understand intuitively the steps of the recipe for this dish you're about to cook. It's almost as if the longer you stare at it, the more you start to understand exactly how you want to approach this dish. Maybe it'll be something familiar, maybe you'll try something different, but keep staring for as long as you can. In these cooking competitions, there's a lot of anticipation. There's anticipation for decisions to be made. For instance, when someone tastes a dish, what will they think? The cooks have to get into the mind of the person who will be tasting the food. You want to be able to draw from what you know to create something special that will have a positive response. So as you continue to follow each instruction, continue to think about what it would be like to gain more inspiration for what you'd like to experience while you stare at that spot in front of you. The longer you concentrate on that spot, the more you absorb, and the more you absorb, the more you concentrate on that spot. And since you're following each instruction now, start to think about closing your eyes. Don't close your eyes yet. Just think about closing your eyes. Think of closing your eyes as the path to greater focus, or focusing on not focusing. But don't close your eyes yet. Keep your gaze on that spot. And if you start to blink slower, it's okay to let it happen. You studied and studied, and it'll be easy to cook this recipe. It'll be easy to follow each instruction. So just think about the action of closing your eyes. Think about the feeling of closing your eyes. Knowing that when you close your eyes, you can focus even more. You can focus on creating the best hypnotic experience for yourself. And when you feel yourself go into trance, you will begin to realize just how powerful your mind is. You'll begin to understand that you are free to give your mind direction, like the direction to close your eyes now, the direction to let your eyelids rest fully and comfortably when you hear a snap and the word sleep. If you agree to follow every instruction and your eyes are slow to close, that's okay. Don't keep your eyes closed when I say so. It's more about letting them stay closed. Maybe on the next blink. Maybe the next several blinks. Maybe you won't even realize when it feels more comfortable to keep them closed. Or you can try not to think about what it would be like to let your eyes stay closed. Sometimes people say it's helpful to let go of what you studied and allow your subconscious to do the work when you're ready to move forward. It's helpful to let go completely now and focus completely on cooking this dish for yourself. And right now, you're on level 3 of this cooking show. On level 3, you're cooking in a kitchen that has seen better days. You're working with just the basics, the core ingredients, some small tools. Rest assured that you have everything you need here to cook a good dish. First, picture or conceptualize the act of gathering ingredients for a dish. Maybe you have a clear idea of what your dish is like. Maybe nothing about this experience is clear at all, and that's okay. Focus on following every instruction and the task at hand. Or not, maybe you're just listening all the way through to see where this goes, and that's okay too. But picture yourself gathering ingredients. On a competitive cooking show, you also want to gather everything you need mentally. So think about bringing your entire body and mind with you. Since you're following every instruction, find the part of your body that feels the most relaxed right now. Once you've identified that, bring each part of yourself along by allowing that sense of relaxation to spread to another part of your body. And let each breath out serve as a signal for that sense of relaxation to spread until you feel your feet and the arches of your feet relax, until you feel that relaxation moving through your legs, and until you feel that relaxation in your stomach and chest as you take a deep breath in and out, until you feel that relaxation flow over your shoulders, into your arms and hands. Maybe you even feel a calming, tingling sensation start to relax you even more until you feel it in your neck. And you might observe how heavy your head feels until you let your head completely drop and relax in a position that feels nice and comfortable until you start to feel it in your jaw. You feel your jaw relax. And maybe you feel it in your eyelids to the point that they become so relaxed that it's hard to open them, until you start to remember the rule to follow every instruction, which makes it easy to begin to sleep deeply. Take another deep breath in and out. Good. If that relaxation hasn't spread completely through you, that's okay. Just grab one ingredient at a time. Identify the part of yourself that feels the most relaxed and keep your focus there. If you ever get off course, just come back to focusing on that part of you that feels the most relaxed. After all, this is your dish. You know which ingredients are right and perfect for you and what will work well with your recipe. Relaxation may be a part of your dish, maybe it isn't. It's almost like stargazing. You might imagine looking up at the stars on a clear, quiet night. And maybe you're the kind of person that takes it all in. Maybe you let the vastness wash over you. Or maybe you like to try and look for the different constellations, finding as many stars as you can and pointing them out by name. Either method creates a wonderful experience and brings about increased focus, a core ingredient of any hypnotic dish. So now you start to put the ingredients you gathered together. Maybe you're mixing, maybe you're cooking over a pan and throwing different ingredients in. Maybe you're over a pot. Maybe you have multiple ingredients cooking at the same time. And you start to smell the food as it's being cooked or prepared, even if you're not experiencing a scent in your mind just yet. You can follow these instructions and take another deep breath in and out, as if you're taking in a good whiff of the food you're cooking. Scent or no scent, maybe you realize how your breathing might be deeper, more even, a bit calmer than it was when you first started. Although it's perfectly fine to be unaware of how relaxing it is to take a deeper breath than you did before. Maybe that awareness of your ability to take full, restful, easy breaths isn't a part of this dish yet. Maybe it will be. The more you notice the changes in texture or the combinations of ingredients you mix together. You might watch those ingredients change color or start to brown as they're being cooked. Or maybe a puree becomes smooth and light. Or maybe you're thickening a sauce and you're watching the liquid become heavier and heavier. Even if you feel nothing is happening with the food yet, you can just notice what is happening. You can notice that eventually something will change if it hasn't already, the longer you let it simmer. And when the ingredients finally come together in a way that is satisfying to you, you can go ahead and submit your dish. And because you're still listening to this, because you're still following every instruction, that dish has advanced you to level 2. And in level 2, you have a little bit more to work with. You have everything you need and some extra, so now it's a matter of how you will use this space. You're making a new dish, so it's back to the beginning. Follow each instruction and wait. Then you can open your eyes easily now because you're following the recipe. Return your gaze to the spot you were looking at before. And once again, study that spot like you're absorbed in a relaxing but engaging book, or as if you're focused on an intriguing podcast or audiobook. You can just listen and absorb what you're hearing. There's nothing to do but listen and absorb what you're hearing. You know what to expect. You've been through this before. You remember when your eyes started to blink even more, and soon your eyelids will start to feel heavier and heavier with each breath you take. And you can just let your eyes stay closed whenever the recipe inside your mind tells you to. And maybe it feels like it happens all on its own. Maybe it'll happen when you hear a snap and the word sleep. And even if your eyes haven't closed yet and you just continue to listen, that only means you're following your own recipe, and that's a good thing. But maybe, since you're on level 2, you'll want to add this experience to your dish. If so, just go ahead and sleep by letting your eyes close and stay closed, easily and effortlessly. Then go ahead and gather your ingredients. You've been through this before. Find that part of yourself that feels the most relaxed right now. And this time, maybe it's a part of your body, but maybe it's a part of your mind. Wherever it is, allow that sense of relaxation to spread. Bring your mind and body with you fully into this experience. Continue to let that relaxation spread until every remaining bit of tension is completely gone. Or just continue to listen. You decide if it would be more comfortable to relax now or later. Either way, you may feel like you're in a flow now, whether you're listening to this all the way through or really immersed in this experience of cooking a good hypnosis experience for yourself. The act of following the recipe and following the instructions might become more automatic now. You start feeling more assured in where this is going, to the point where you can have a bit of fun with it. Maybe that means activating your imagination even more. Maybe it means letting go and sinking even deeper. You have more ingredients and flavors to try, after all. New and helpful appliances to use. And as some people say, time can move in interesting ways when you're having fun. It's common to say time flies, but it's also common for people to say that time stands still. Being in trance can feel almost meditative. It's another flavor on the menu. You're completely focused on this moment. You're completely focused on the words you're hearing. And it's nice to let any distractions just pass you by. Sometimes it can feel like time is slowing down, too, as you focus on all the intricate parts of what you want to create for this hypnotic experience. Just for now. Just in this now moment. Because you're focused on this moment, you're letting go of all critical thoughts or judgments. And in this moment, everything is working as it should. You're still listening, so you're following the recipe. And now you get to really play with it, like you're making your own piece of art, something that is unique to you. You can bring out that creative and free version of yourself, another flavor of trance. And as long as you feel good about it, as long as you feel just a little bit better than you did before you started listening, the dish you made is a success. But maybe you're at that stage where you're so focused on the recipe that it feels better not to stray too much. Maybe you're not rushing to color outside of the lines, and that's okay too. Just go with the motions, since the steps are easy and you don't really have to think about it. Not needing to think about it is a different flavor. So follow the instructions and take in a deep breath, then let it out with a sigh. You don't have to think about it. Take another deep breath and sigh. And notice how that feels. Notice how easy it is to breathe deeply and let everything go, just for a little while. Nothing needs your attention, not even any thoughts that may be floating in your mind. You can just let it all go empty. As you focus on the goal without even realizing how much you're focusing. And no matter what you're feeling, even if it's nothing different at all or nothing at all, you can know deep down that you're cooking up something good for yourself. You're moving ingredients around and transforming them from separate components into one beautiful meal. You're moving them into a different state, and that shift is a common flavor that you'll find. This is something you can do consciously, like deciding to lay down and take a nap. You know your mind and body is ready for a break, so you act on it. And when you know deep down you're ready for a break, the moment your body is settled in somewhere comfortable, you can take a deep, satisfying breath in and let it out with a sigh of relief as you feel yourself drifting and floating deeper into a different state. Sometimes you may not be aware of the shift, and if you're focused on something after being unfocused, you don't always notice the moment you became completely focused, listening, following the recipe. You don't remember the moment you eventually drifted off. Because now that you have more breathing room, more space to work with on this level and in this kitchen, you may have a lot of different things cooking at the same time. You're able to watch everything closely, and you can easily catch when something is out of alignment. And it's effortless for you to do. You're good at this. There's that flavor of hyper-focus coming through, like watching flames flicker in a candlelit room. It's easy to direct your attention to it when there's nothing else to direct your attention to. Or you can be fascinated by the fact that your thoughts can bounce this way and that, and yet somehow the dish is still coming together. You can picture the end result. You know how you want this dish to taste, how you want it to look on the plate. Everything about this experience is becoming more and more vivid, to the point where the pictures playing in your mind feel connected with your body in automatic ways that are right and safe for you. Even if some or most things are unclear, you can feel that this dish will turn out perfectly okay. And then you realize that you've got the hang of this. When people say something is easy to learn and pick up again, they often say it's like riding a bike. Or maybe there's another activity that comes to mind for you. And when you get back into it, it's like taking a relaxing ride. The wheels are turning and you don't even have to give it that much momentum. You're just gliding, chopping, mixing, creating this dish of hypnosis. You intuitively know how you want it to feel. And since you know how you want it to feel, it can become automatic to allow yourself to experience that feeling right now. Nothing holds you back. If someone says to mix ingredients together, you know the motions of mixing, like riding a bike or moving from point A to point B in your own way. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to tap your finger once. And when you feel the sensation of your finger lifting up slightly and making even the gentlest of taps, it'll serve as a signal to relax even deeper. Maybe this is something you'd like to add to your dish. So go ahead, follow the instructions, and tap your finger now, just once. Tap your finger and allow yourself to sink even deeper. That's it. And if you have or haven't tapped your finger yet, you can still add the sensation to your dish later, whenever you wish. And if you can see yourself in your mind's eye following through on that urge to tap your finger, there is a possibility you might just do it anyway. Or you can just keep listening and entertaining the moment in your mind when you eventually tap your finger and feel that wave of deep relaxation come over you, and how nice that would feel. You could feel that wave of relaxation come over you now without needing to move a finger. It's all about how you would like to garnish this dish. And once the finishing touches are made, it's submitted. And because you're still listening to this, because you're still following every instruction, that dish has advanced you to level 1. And in level 1, you have all of the top quality kitchen tools at your disposal, and it's going to make your task even easier. If you can think it up, you can create it in this kitchen. You have so much space to create and rest in your ability to cook up a profound hypnotic experience for yourself. On this level, you're making another dish, so it's back to the beginning, like clockwork. You know exactly what to do. Follow each instruction and wake by opening your eyes. It's easy to open your eyes and rest your gaze on that spot you were focusing on before. This is the moment in the show where you're face to face with one of the judges and they're giving you the pep talk. This is the last level, so this is your chance to bring everything you've got into this dish. How immersive do you want this to feel? How relaxed do you want to feel? You may be pretty relaxed already, but do you know that if you wanted to relax 10 times deeper than you are now, you could as soon as you close your eyes? You can set the intention that the moment you close your eyes and keep your eyes closed, you will relax 10 times deeper, easily, effortlessly, and automatically. Or you can remember what it's like to just think about closing your eyes. Just think about closing your eyes. In level 3, in level 2, and now in level 1, you can allow your eyes to stay closed whenever they're ready. You might even find that they close sooner than they did last time. Maybe you're realizing that right now. You know exactly what to expect, so it's just a matter of following the recipe. And even if your eyes haven't closed yet, and you just continue to listen, that's exactly how the recipe goes. Maybe this time you'll close your eyes as soon as you hear a snap and the word sleep. The possibilities are there for you to add to your dish. Because on level 1, you created even more space for your mind to play, to freely engage with those possibilities. You get to choose what flavors you want to try, or those flavors you know you'll enjoy. Your mind gets to wander and answer what ifs. What if you had a little of this? Maybe a pinch of that. You're deciding the direction your kitchen is going in. So if you want to relax 10 times deeper, you can just allow yourself to respond automatically. Sleep and relax. Deeper and deeper. And even if this doesn't come as easy as you would like, that's okay. You can observe the fact that you're listening all the way through and continue to wonder just how this will all turn out. And it happens fast this time. You realize that once you're finished with this last dish, you can rest and let the flavors speak for themselves. You can let your subconscious speak for itself. So you're motivated to chop, mix, blend, and do whatever feels best for the dish you want to create. And once it is all done, once you submit your last dish, all that is left to do is rest. There's a break before the taste test, and so you find a spot to rest and relax. A space that is peaceful and comfortable. You're done cooking and waiting for the final result to be revealed, so you can just rest and bask in the silence. Just for these few moments, you don't have to listen. You don't have to follow any recipe. You don't have to do anything except have confidence in the dish you made. You put all the ingredients together, and whatever happened throughout this experience, you've at least given yourself a chance to rest. You clicked on this for a hypnotic experience, which means you followed the instructions and you're still listening. You did it. So you can let yourself sleep and rest deeply. So deeply that your mind might just go completely quiet, completely silent. Maybe you might play with the idea that your mind can go silent, so quiet that you will not be disturbed unless you need to be. Maybe you play with the idea that you can completely and totally ignore the next two snaps and suggestions to open your eyes. Your mind is so silent, it'll be as if you will not hear the next two snaps or suggestions to open your eyes. They will just float by above you as you sink down even deeper into this feeling of trance that you created. You could open your eyes if you wanted to, but not responding to the next two snaps and suggestions to open your eyes only shows what a damn good cook you are. It shows what you can do with your imagination. What would that feel like to not respond to the next two snaps and suggestions to open your eyes? What would it feel like to just go deeper when you're told to open your eyes? Or you can go ahead and respond to the snap and the suggestion to open your eyes. And that would just mean you're responding to the snap and the suggestion to open your eyes. And what would that mean? Well, it'll mean you're a damn good cook. So, open your eyes and go deeper. Go ahead and open your eyes and go deeper. That's it. And because of the experience you've just gone through, it might feel especially relaxing to just let it all go, to just melt. Your muscles might relax completely, slumping or flattening against the surface you're resting on, like wet noodles, like melting ice, just so relaxed, melting into whatever you're resting on. It's almost as if you're giving yourself a massage or a spa day inside of your mind. Maybe this is a reward for yourself. Maybe it's nothing at all. And if there's any tension still present at this moment, it's okay if you hold on to it. In that case, you can go right back to the task, but maybe this time it's about preparing to cook or bake the next dish for yourself by noticing the part of you that feels the most relaxed. Keep your focus there until you feel ready to rest completely. If you're still holding on to something, think about what it would be like to let it go for now, but just for this brief moment as a gift to yourself. You can pick it back up when you've emerged from this experience if you'd like. But you're not done yet. You still have time to rest here. You might notice that this whole experience feels like a dream, as if you're asleep when you aren't really asleep. But there's a part of you that is deeply asleep, and there's a part of you listening to this all the way through, and you're absorbing the flavors you want to absorb. Maybe you recall some parts of the dream. Maybe you'll forget some of them. It's all about the experience you want to create while you're in this state of trance. And maybe trance still feels like a confusing or mysterious word to you, or maybe it all makes sense and you can follow the logic like a plot in a story. Or maybe there's no such thing as trance after all. No matter what, there is still this feeling of having had an experience. And you start to recognize that if you want to experience something, it starts with your inner world first. And you realize that the ultimate judge of this cooking show isn't some famous celebrity chef. It's you. In your mind's eye, you see all the dishes displayed on the kitchen counter. complete and beautiful. You go up to the counter, and knowing you have the ability to follow the recipe, you taste your dishes. You can see yourself tasting your dishes. Maybe you're thinking of what it might be like to taste your food, to taste this hypnotic experience you've been cooking for yourself. What would it be like to consume that hypnotic feeling? And it doesn't matter what you believe your cooking skills are, just for now, just for this moment. Think about what it would mean for you. What would it feel like for you to take in hypnosis as much as you'd like, without any barriers, and take in any positive intention you have for yourself too, all in one go? What would that feel like? Knowing that you can create your own experience of hypnosis just by allowing yourself to feel it in your own unique way. Because it doesn't feel like anything except allowing your mind to follow those patterns, the patterns that you want to explore. And as long as you did that, you can rest assured you've created a winning dish. You can return to this competition again and see how you react, maybe trying a little resistance, maybe cooking with different flavors. It can be a different experience every time. And if you'd like to continue to experience those flavors, how satisfying would it be if for some reason you got the urge to make something you enjoy? Maybe today, maybe tomorrow, maybe in a week or next. Maybe you might decide to do something nice for yourself and cook or bake or put together something you really enjoy. Even if it needs to be small, what's something small and easy you can make for yourself, just for fun, or just to say you did it? What would it feel like to follow through with that instruction, especially if it feels like a good idea to you? It's okay if it doesn't happen. Just thinking about the possibility means that you've got serious skills. After all, you did listen all the way through. And hopefully you have a little bit of an idea of what the word trance might mean to you. In a moment, I will count up from 1 to 5, and on the count of 5, you will respond completely and fully to the suggestion to wake up from hypnosis. You will feel refreshed and rejuvenated and ready to continue your day with ease, knowing you've successfully cooked up a moment of relaxation and care from your mind and body. And that just feels good. So 1, starting to come up out of trance, this cooking show coming to an end. 2, slowly, easily emerging out of your inner world and starting to connect with your outer world more and more. 3, maybe starting to stretch, move your body a bit, wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. 4, feeling more awake, more and more aware, coming back into the room now. And 5, wide awake, 5, wide awake, back into the room completely and fully and feeling wonderful. If you enjoyed this, go ahead and give this a like and subscribe if you want to have more experiences like this one. Until next time, remember to focus, play along, and relax.